What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another live here on Indiana Kayak Bass Nation. Still learning this software, guys, so bear with me if we have any technical difficulties. If you guys could, if you're watching, if we got anyone in here, give me the all clear in terms of sound. You can hear me all right. You can see me all right. We're going to get this thing started in just a second. I'm going to get some stuff shared here. We are live on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you got anybody that's not on Facebook or would prefer to watch on YouTube, you can let them know we are streaming live on our Facebook page. I'm going to get this shared out to some of the groups real quick. And of course, would appreciate you guys sharing it if you can as well. Thank you, Emma, for that. All good. I can hear you. Cool. Appreciate it, guys. Off to a smoother start than last time, if you can remember that. I just got home a few moments ago. Didn't have a whole lot of time to prep for this, so getting it all together here very, very last second. But I got a great guest waiting for us in the green room, if you will, and we're going to bring him on here in just a second. We're going to let some people tune in. Like I said, I'm getting it shared out to some of the groups. You guys could do that as well. I appreciate it. Help us get the word out, not only about the Bass Nation and what we're doing, but tonight's a lot about what we're doing with a little group called GRBY. Some of you know what that is. Some of you may be hearing about it for the first time. So we're going to get into that and what that partnership means for you, the anglers. Questions and answers will be at the end of the show. Feel free to ask them as we go, but we may or may not get to them at the moment. We may save it for the end. And of course, you can always ask them again at the end if we don't, for some reason, get to it. But I'll try and keep an eye on the comment section and keep that in mind as we're going through some stuff. Hey, Troy, good to see you. Thanks, Emma, for jumping on. Definitely go enjoy your time with the family. This will be, as Emma mentioned, this will be recorded. You'll be able to go back and watch it on Facebook or on YouTube. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. Appreciate you jumping on. For those of you that don't know, what's up, Chris Daly? My name is Sam Jones. Our president of the Indiana Kayak Bass Nation, Merlin Hammer, will not be joining us tonight. He's busy, and we've got an awesome guest lined up for you, Ryan Reedy of GRBY, the infamous, hardworking, one of the hardest working guys in kayak fishing tonight. But my name is Sam Jones. I'm helping out with all of the marketing, the website, all the back end kind of stuff, and I'll be running our live podcast and live shows. We got another live show coming up in about a week, actually. I think we got that scheduled for early next week, which will be our first tournament overview. So before each of our events, we're going to do a full tournament overview. We'll do a little bit lake breakdown. We'll talk about the event and the details of the event, what some of the prizes are that you guys can win. Merlin's been working really hard on sponsorship stuff. I've been trying to help out where I can, of course, but he's been doing a great job with that. He's starting to pull in some really cool sponsors. We're going to announce a really awesome sponsor and prize for you guys towards the end of the show tonight. So stay tuned for that. But I appreciate you guys jumping on. I'm going to get our guest in here. Many of you watching already know him, but for those of you that don't, he is one of the hardest working guys in kayak bass fishing, no doubt about it. His name's Ryan Reedy. He's also an incredible angler, and we're lucky he's so busy with the admin side, because otherwise he'd be taking all of our money all the time instead of just some of the time. But let me get him in here. My friend, Ryan Reedy. Welcome, sir.
How are you?
I'm well, dude. I'm well. It's a little chaotic, as I mentioned, but I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, it's been busy. I about forgot.
Yeah. Well, I forgot, remembered, got reminded, and then I sent you the message, obviously. So I'm just happy we didn't have to postpone this one 6 times.
Yeah, your bad luck streak ran out, I guess.
Right. Like I mentioned on the last show, I finally got to the point where I was like, all right, we're just going to tackle this head on no matter what the circumstances, because I'm done with this. We're breaking the curse of the Bass Nation Live. So I think we've done that, but let me knock on this hardwood desk here just in case. I'm looking behind you and I'm seeing all the bourbon back there, and I'm a new collector, if you will. I think we're going to have to do like a bourbon and bass a night, and we'll do some sipping and talking about bourbon and talking about bass fishing, whether that be on this platform or GRBY or HQB, or maybe we'll make up a whole new one, because why not? I got plenty of time on my hands to do something like that.
Actually, I was sipping on this. I rediscovered this little bottle here.
Oh,
I got from
Indiana what?
Indianapolis Indians. It was a little tasting we did there in the park.
Oh, very cool.
It was a really good bottle.
I went to, what do they call it? I think it's called their swing night. It was like their charity gala type deal.
Yeah.
Have you been to that?
This was a charity thing for them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm sipping out of the old fishing lure cup tonight. It's just got some hydration water in it. That's it tonight. So Ryan, kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like I said, I think a lot of people watching this do know who you are, and they know this club GRBY, and we'll get into GRBY in a second. But for the moment, for the guys who maybe are seeing you for the first time, tell them a little bit about who you are, how you got into all this, and what you do now.
Sure. Yeah. I hadn't really fished a lot around here. Been going with my father-in-law for years to Canada and things. I've done a little bit of fishing. I was kind of busy, but I wasn't doing it. I don't know. I just went through a period of my life where I wasn't. But my wife teaches with Cole Ritter's wife, or did at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He got into it with Jim Strunk, helping him out. And then Cole got me into it, fishing in a kayak. And then both of them said, why don't you just do the work and we'll just go away. Right. That's what they did. I offered to help Jim with some stuff, and then just kind of have progressed into doing what I'm doing now, and then kind of I'm really excited about how our teams are structured this year. We got a lot of people helping the club and involved, so that's going to be really great this year. I'm excited to see what we can do. But yeah, so I got hooked. Didn't take long. I like competitive things, and I particularly like our club because it's competitive, but it's a little different. I think that's safe to say. Like we all help each other, and it's not so much so cutthroat. People are telling people what they used and where they fished and things like that. So I really enjoyed meeting everybody and having those conversations.
I'm finding it funny. Let me just turn on the comments real quick, because we've got the godfather of GRBY.
Yeah, I told him to come make fun of me because he was over here.
Yeah, we got him here. I don't like how, you know what?
It puts it over top.
I don't like how it does that. It's a little better, not great. Mm-hmm. So I might turn this back off, but there's probably a better way to do this. I haven't had enough time to mess with this new software. I said on the last stream, I've used StreamYard for years, but we're trying something different here. But Jim, little comment here. He says Reedy is a control freak, but it works out great. I think there might be an argument to be had that Jim is also a control freak, but we'll save that for another podcast. You got to have a little bit of a control freak and a little nuts to take on this role that you have, because I know you're making millions of dollars doing it. But no, it is a thankless job often, and and you definitely are losing money every second that you're
exactly. But no, I mean, back to kind of what you asked about what GRBY is. I mean, speaking of Jim, he kind of started this just because it is hard for people with families with kids in sports, and to do a Saturday tournament or a Sunday tournament, right? So he came up with this idea of, I think it maybe even started at 3 days, and then they expanded it to 4 or 5. I think it kind of, morphed from there. But yeah, it's been great. When I started, I was fishing Thursdays because my kids had a lot of things on the weekends and I could get off work. And last year, and I think this year, I'm going to be transitioning more to the weekends.
Okay.
Maybe a few weekdays here and there, but I want to make sure I have time off for the bass events. So I'm trying to save my days a little bit and hit up the weekend.
There was a point in time for me. It was kind of the same. Like I had the flexibility to just kind of fish whenever I wanted to fish, and I based that off of a lot of times weather, and then the kids factor was there as well. So trying to make sure I like to do things during the week because then I had my weekends with the kids. I could take them fishing. We could do stuff, and so I like that. A lot of times with grubby, I could go fishing and get home at the same time or before them from school. So I really like that aspect of it. Now it's changing a little bit, with the business getting busier and my attention being a little bit more demanded in sports and things like that. I'm not really sure how it's definitely not going to be as easy for me to pick and choose. You guys did something this year that I thought was great with how you can now kind of change your days, not at will, but when necessary, which I really like. And I think there's a lot of great things we could talk about, and we're probably a little bit ahead. I want to backtrack just a bit to kind of what GRBY is and why are we talking about another. This is a little different, right? Generally, you don't see one entity talking about another or partnering together like we have, and it's a little bit different. GRBY, which is, for those of you that don't know, is Grassroots Bass Yakking, started by Jim Strunk, our comment troll here tonight, professional comment troll here tonight. Thank you, Jim, for keeping the comment section lit up. But Jim Strunk started this. Was it 19 or 20? I know the first champion was Chip Romanovich.
Yeah, I think I got it in the research.
But I can't remember what year this started. Nevertheless.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
2019. Okay. That's what I thought. I think I got involved in it in 20, fishing it. And so Jim starts up this kind of working man's trail, loosely related or based off of kind of the USA Bassin tournament format a long time before there was a kayak series. We're talking about the boat side, which its idea was give anglers the opportunity to fish competitively locally at without breaking the bank and it not being about 50 boat fields or 75 boat fields. It could even be a weeknight thing. And so Jim took that idea with some of his own ideas and creates this beautiful beast that is GRBY, that we all affectionately call GRBY now. And over the years, it's kind of changed a little bit here and there, but it's really kind of stayed true to its roots, which is, multiple little series throughout the state. So guys don't have to travel too far if they don't want to. Now, of course, you got guys that travel from one side of the state to the other competing in these things, and that's great. It gives a lot of opportunity there. And it's really become probably the largest entity in kayak fishing outside of, your big three like bass. I don't know that there's anyone that runs more tournaments at this point than you guys do on Tourney X. Maybe the Challenge Series formerly when it was on there, but I don't think there's a larger community of anglers in the country that I'm aware of, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's great. Like Jim's idea took off. I mean, everybody kind of grabbed onto it and made it great. They've stayed, fishing with us, and I really enjoy it. Like you said, I think we've got it. It's changed, but we got the region format now. So we've tried to kind of bring down our number of events a little bit, so that we can still get some events with good numbers in it. But We expanded into the north a couple years ago, and that's really going well. We're having some good numbers up there. Those guys aren't having to drive 3 and 4 hours to fish down here, with us in the south. So I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we had GRBY. We've got some other series in the state. Indiana Kayak Anglers, they kind of started it out here. Cassin, which has since dissolved. We've got Southern Indiana Yak Anglers Club. Of course, you can do the KBF stuff. We got a lot going on in the state. And then USA Bassing comes in a couple years ago. They've kind of morphed in to where they can fit, small lakes, and they're doing some weeknight stuff. So there's endless opportunities in Indiana already. I mean, literally, I don't know anywhere else where you could fish 5 days a week, a tournament. Like you could be in a tournament from Thursday to Monday, all different tournaments, because you guys run 4 a week on average.
Yeah,
and then you almost always have one of the other series running some sort of event. So there's endless opportunities in Indiana. And for years, though, guys have been asking about a bass series, a way to fish with Bassmaster since that formed. I think that was also like 2019, 2020. I'm trying to remember. The first one I think was on Logan Martin, but at the Greenville Classic. I could be mixing that up. But anyway, so guys have been asking about it, and there's a few guys who've tried to get that going, and there was some, we'll just say, difficulties getting it started. And then recently, last year, Merlin started working on it again. There's a new president over the Indiana Bass Nation who is super receptive to all this and wanting to get this going. So, Merlin gets things fired up, kind of draws me in, and then we start reaching out to the existing clubs, to talk about this and what this means. And right off the bat, you and the rest of the GRBY admin team were all about this and wanting to be a part of it. And you saw this vision of a partnership, which we're getting ready to get into, and what this means for the anglers and opportunities. But like I said, right away, you guys were super receptive to this, and we've kind of dubbed you guys as the grassroots partner of Indiana Kayak Bass Nation, and we're looking forward to working together to grow the sport, and super appreciative of you guys. So let's talk about a little bit what this all means. So now we've kind of broke down what GRBY is. We've kind of broke down how we got to this point and where we stand as a state. In a world where it seems like there couldn't be any more opportunity, we've found a way to give more opportunity here. So,
yeah, I mean, what unbeknownst to Merlin, this had actually been a discussion within our group for a long time. We have been desperately trying to get someone to be a group we could feed. To have, a little bit bigger events on bigger water, to have bigger buy-ins, better payouts, things like that. I mean, it's things we've heard over the years of guys in the state wanting that. I mean, it's not us. We're not going to do it. So this was great. Yeah. When we first heard of it, I was like, yeah, I know Merlin thought we probably kind of thought we were going to be upset or something, but no, absolutely. This is great. Like, we can leverage what we have, what we've built, and, bring people into this and give people, like you said, a way to get into Bassmaster events.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like, for 2026. As we announced in our first live and on our Facebook page, we're going to run 4 regular season events starting in April, running through into August, because we have to have a short season so that we can get our qualifiers for the national championship or the Bassmaster Kayak Series championship in the fall over to them. We got to get that roster over to them early. So we're going to do some events early in the season, and then we're actually going to start up the following season. So 2027 really be kind of like a 2026, 2027 schedule, starting in the fall in conjunction with you guys. But before we get into what that looks like for next year, and kind of how we're working together with you guys on kicking off next year's season, let's talk about these first 4 events, primarily starting with Patoka on April 11th. This partnership that we have goes beyond just working together with sponsors and partners and the community as a whole. we're actually providing another avenue for tournament anglers who want to take advantage of this new opportunity. So if you could tell them a little bit about what that looks like.
Are we talking about the club benefit tournament we're doing, or?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. We obviously didn't want to hold tournaments on your weekend. We want to open everybody up for the Bass weekend to be able to travel and camp, which we're going to be doing. We already got our sites reserved, and hang out and kind of make it fun. So we decided to do a little bit of a club fundraiser. Waterbound Kayak Trailers stepped up and gave us a second trailer for this year. So we are going to be doing a club benefit tournament for our normal 5-day period, starting on Thursday before your tournament on Saturday, and it'll run through Monday. I'm going to probably use my day to pre-fish just so I get up and don't sleep in. So I'll probably pre-fish on Thursday, fish the GRBY tournament, and then that gets you an entry into that trailer. If you look on TourneyX, we have that tournament up. There's some different payouts, 25% of the pot to the different different payouts. So it's going to be a little bit not like normal. It's supposed to be a little bit more fun for everybody. There's some like small limit, I think, is one of the payouts. Most calls and things like that. Just trying to do something a little bit different. And then we're going to do a second entry if you also sign up for the Bass event that weekend. So you got two chances that weekend for a trailer from Waterbound Kayak, so that you can either take the base model that is free, or you can choose to go through his upgrades and put a little bit more money into it, get what you want.
And the drawing for that trailer will be when?
The timing of that, I would say we could do that at we could either do that at your championship, or we could do it at the last event, whatever we want to do. But yeah, the fourth event you hold will be the last chance to get
okay. Yeah. So let me see if I've got that right for everyone. Maybe clarify a couple things. So sure. in conjunction with our events, you're going to hold a 5-day event. Standard GRBY format. For those of you that aren't familiar with GRBY format, Thursday to Monday is the tournament. You pick which day you want to fish, and your fish for that day, your best 5 for that day is your total against the best 5, from the other days. You do not have to be in the Bass Nation event to fish that event, but if you do sign up for both, you have 2 opportunities you get 2 entries into winning that particular trailer giveaway. Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
On top of the payout for that event, which you've got that information on TourneyX. How can they look? What's the name of that event? So they can
it's under the fundraiser button on our normal site.
Okay.
There's one of the headings it says fundraiser.
Okay.
So I guess to back up a little bit, because I didn't mention that, so it's also listed in there that what portion of the money will go to the pot for the payouts, and then what will go to the club itself. So this is raising some money for the club. We're going to be paying for some of the things you're going to talk about here in a little bit, about our joint venues for our events, for our championship in your first season or first kickoff for the next season, and different things that we have to get, our sponsor prizes and things like that. So we're just trying to kind of continue what we're doing and rely a little less on sponsors. But yeah, so that information is all there for payouts. There, if you do fish with us, there's an opportunity to win some cool little non-money prizes. We're drawing, I think you can earn 4 of them, and we're drawing randomly for 4, where you can get a 5-minute head start launch at our championship. So if you plan on qualifying for that, there's something little kind of fun thing you can compete for to get a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of a head start.
Yeah, awesome opportunities there. Tomorrow, guys, if you're watching, we'll make a post on the Bass Nation page with a link to that event so that you can get signed up. Registration is available also for our first event, April 11th on Patoka Lake. You do have to be a Bass Nation member of Indiana, the Indiana Kayak Bass Nation, and a Bassmaster member to sign up for that event. You can get all the information on how to become a member and process your membership and everything on IndianaKayakBassNation.com. So if you're watching for the first time, you're not sure where to find all this, that's where you're going to go, IndianaKayakBassNation.com. You become a member there, and then we do have links to sign up to get you over to TourneyX. The TourneyX platform is where we house our tournaments. You can get signed up right now for that event. We currently have 13 people signed up for that, and we've got memberships coming in every day, so we expect several more, obviously, to get into that event. Looks like it's going to be a good one, and we're really excited about that. And then in addition to that, now you also have the opportunity to fish this GRBY event, this fundraiser style event. If you're a guy, you're like, I'm not sure whether or not I'm ready for the Bass Nation level of competition, GRBY is a great place to groom you and get you ready, get you confident. And, if you're new to kayak fishing, all of the steps and processes of submitting fish, or if you've been kayak fishing for a long time, but you're just new to kind of the upper levels of tournament fishing, and you want to get your feet wet, GRBY's the best way to do that. And these fundraiser events will allow you to kind of get in on the action, see how you would fare on that lake, and then maybe the next time it rolls around, you do want to jump into that. Of course, so we'd love to have you in both events. So we're gonna get to some more questions and answers here in a minute. And I don't want to miss anything, guys. So if you've got questions specifically about what we're talking about, we do want to get to that at the end. We'll try and cover as much of it as we can now. And we're going to try and keep this thing to about an hour, guys. So, Jim's shrunk in here again. Let's see what he says. Sam, you in the garage man cave? And yes, I am. Yeah, it's still very much unfinished. You can see there's no trim up yet on there. This space behind me will change. It's all going to be different very soon. But yeah, the office/studio very slowly coming together. So I also see JT Hickman. You'll be back in 27, man. I really can't wait to see you get back out there, buddy. I know you don't have any kayaks right now, but hopefully if you're filling up to getting out fishing, somebody can let you jump in a sec. If I had a second kayak, dude, I'd bring it to you right now. I sold all mine so I could build this ridiculous kayak rig I've been working on the last few weeks. So anyway, going back to this partnership, we got the fundraiser event. We've talked about that. That's the big forward-facing part of this, the opportunity. But you guys are helping out in a big way with Bass Nation. And one of the things we're doing is we're kind of offering your partners and our partners kind of a little bit of a double promotion through each series. And you've brought a lot of support and help to us through that, which has been huge. One of those, like Catch, for example, working together on trophies and things like that. So you want to talk about some of these awesome partners and how we're going to be working together with those?
Yeah, new this year for us, we kind of, it's always been product and things like that for us. So we kind of went into trying to get some, cash spots and trying to keep it, like Jim says, it gets better every year, right? So we got to figure out how to do that. But so we have what we're calling region sponsors this year. So we've got a lot of our past, sponsors that have been with us for a long time have stepped up this year. Redbeard's Plastics, Honey's Hideout, JBC Outfitters, Backyard Custom Plastics, Dripfish Coffee's new this year, affiliated with Walton's Rods, the owner there. And then Biz Baits and Wicked Weights, who have been with us for a very long time. They've all stepped up. And this is kind of what I presented to you and Merlin about, hey, we've got all these sponsors coming in and we're starting to spread them thin, right? If we all start, trying to go after all these people, there's just not enough, to go around. So that's kind of why I proposed, hey, let's work together. We'll have our sponsors for this, and then we'll use like Catch, for example, to get the trophies for both of us, and they'll get promoted in both places. So that's kind of what we're working towards. I was a little busier than normal this year in the off season, so
No,
you
it's
didn't
been
get it all done yet, but yeah, no, I mean, it's great. So we'll have, those sponsors stepped up big for us, and they'll have some, promotion on your side as well. And hopefully we can continue kind of as we work through this year and talk to more people, we can, work that out for moving forward.
So you guys will continue to see some of the brands you guys know and love and have seen support Indiana kayak bass fishing for years now coming over. You'll see them here on the Bass Nation side. We're really excited about that. We'll have some other new partners too that'll be new to the community. Weather Tight Roofing is one of those that Merlin brought in. So we're super thankful to have them. But yeah, companies like Walton Rod's going to be pumping out some rods for guys. We got Catch making us the best trophies in the game. A lot of great stuff. Honey's Hideouts helping us out. They just came out with our identifier that should be available on the website if it's not already. So lots of good stuff. Like you said, I am excited. I'm going to make a little bit of an announcement. I told you guys I would. So we're going to put this information out over the next couple of days, maybe on Facebook and on the website, but a little sneak peek for those of you that are watching tonight or watch the recording later. We can officially now announce our Big Bass sponsor of the year. So one of the first companies who came in and helped us out a little bit with getting started with our giveaway for early signups was Biz Baits, $150 gift card. And we've kind of officially agreed with them on them being our Big Bass sponsor for the 2026 season. If anybody knows me, I work with Biz Baits on a daily basis. Love the guys behind that brand, and they've always supported Indiana, and they wanted to continue to do so. So in addition to what they're already doing with GRBY for the Bass Nation, we are going to have them as our Big Bass sponsor for 2026, which means for you guys, the anglers, a $500 cash bonus for the Big Bass of the year. That will have its own trophy, its own, big check that you'll get with that. Also, each event we will be giving away a $50 gift card, for the Big Bass of each event, 1 through 4. And then at our championship, a $25 gift card for the Big Bass of day 1 and a $25 gift card for Big Bass of day 2. And then after that championship, we will be awarding that $500 cash bonus to the Big Bass of the year. And those will all come with, at each event, they'll come with big, cardboard checks as well, Big Bass checks for you guys to hang on the wall and that sort of thing. And I believe we're going to have Big Bass trophies at each of the events. So that's an awesome announcement that I definitely wanted to get out tonight and let you guys know. So on top of your normal payouts, you now have the opportunity to win a $50 Biz Baits gift card for Big Bass and be entered to win that Big Bass of the year at $500. So speaking of championships, I kind of alluded to earlier, part of this partnership will affect kind of 2027. So going back to that really quickly, the Bass Master Kayak Series Championship has always been held in conjunction with the Classic. The whole series got started that way. The very first event was at the Classic. Winner of the top 10 got to walk across the stage. And then each year after that, we had our own championship. And it was in conjunction with the Classic on a different lake, but they did the awards at the Classic. This past one here in East Tennessee in Knoxville was the last of that. There will not be a combined Classic and kayak championship any longer. They have decided to move to their own event in the fall. And there's a lot of benefits to that. We don't have to get into that all tonight, but with that, the nation events, the state level nation events, have to wrap up their seasons in August in order to get rosters over to Bass Bassmaster so that they can fill out the field for the championship in October. So what we're going to be doing is, this year being our first year, just getting kind of a late start here. We got April, May, June, July, championship in August. We are going to start the 2027 season in the fall of this year. And our kickoff event will be a 2-day event in conjunction with the GRBY Championship.
Yep.
Which is on, give me the details on that. So
that's on Patoka Lake. So your season will kick off on Patoka, and our championship will be on Patoka on October 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
So this was one of the ideas that that's kind of why I asked about the partnership, because that's expensive. That whole thing is expensive. So to be able to pool those resources, have a great season kickoff for you guys, and have our championship at the same time, I think that's going to be great.
I think so too. I think a lot of the anglers who already fish your stuff will be fishing the nation stuff. And likewise, I think a lot of the guys who come into the nation, that's their first event, they're obviously going to find you throughout the year, and have an opportunity to get in your championship. And why not double dip? It's going to be a fantastic event. We will we'll have a great award ceremony in conjunction with yours, and just a great way to kick off the year. And then following that, which we'll announce soon, we'll have one more event in the fall, and then we will go into the 2027 season starting up again in April. So we'll have a little bit of break there for winter and the holidays, and then we'll get right back into things in April. So for 2027, the Bass Nation will actually have 6 regular season events over the course of that span, the fall through the 26 calendar year. And it like I said, it's going to start off with GRBY. It's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to it. We will hit all of the quadrants of the state as we've got it set up this year. We've got a lake in the north, we've got a lake in the east, a lake in the south, central, and west. Those lakes will not change, guys. You can basically count on, unless we have attendance really is lower than what we're expecting, you can pretty much count on we are going to go to the same set lakes every year. It's just going to change in rotation and timing. So those lakes are Patoka in the south, Brookville in the east, Raccoon Lake in the west, Monroe is our central lake, and then we've got Wawasee and Syracuse. Now you guys might ask, why would we just keep going to the same lakes year after year and not change it up? And some of these lakes, truthfully, aren't the most popular lakes for kayak anglers here in the state of Indiana. Well, the answer to that is, guys, these are the lakes that can handle the capacity we expect for these events. We do not expect 20 to 30 anglers. We're expecting anywhere from 50 to 75 and upwards. We've got a lot of people out of state who are interested in this, both Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky. We've seen some Michigan guys asking and talking about it. So there's definitely expected to be a lot more anglers in this, higher entry fee, higher payouts. It's going to draw some people from further distances. And so we got to make sure that we are on a body of water that can handle that. So those are the lakes. We don't have many big lakes in Indiana, a lot of small waters, which is great for kayak fishing. But in this stance of like a little bit elevated competition, higher turnouts, we do have to go to some of these bigger lakes. And so you guys can expect a rotation of those lakes each year. And we're going to start 27 season off on Patoka with you guys. And I think that's something that we'll probably do for years to come. It looks like it's going to be a great opportunity for anglers. I'm excited about it personally. I think it's going to be great. You can fish one or you can fish both. Just because you're fishing GRBY doesn't mean you have to fish Nation, and just because you're fishing Nation doesn't mean you have to fish GRBY. We definitely think it's a great opportunity for anglers who do want to get involved in both tournaments to double dip, and there'll be so much money and so many prizes available that weekend. It'll be insane.
And it also opens up to us. We obviously now have to rotate our championship to maybe one more location.
Possibly
where we have fished before. So so might be a new GRBY championship location in the rotation.
There you go. Heard it here first. Not exactly what that might be, but we just told you which lakes we're going to fish. So it's process of elimination. I think you guys can figure out which one that might be out of the group there.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's a volume problem, right? When you got 80 to 100 people in your championship or fishing your tournament, you're you've eliminated a lot of water here in the state. So
yeah, seeing some comments, guys are loving it. Keep it up, guys. Let us know what you think. We definitely want your guys' feedback, and we're going to need a lot of it over the next few months as we roll this stuff out. You know, where we could maybe improve it, where we're maybe doing too much or not enough. All of those things, we definitely want to see that. But yeah, just a quick recap, guys, and then we're going to get into questions and answers because we want to keep this at an hour. Talking with Ryan Reedy tonight. He is the main admin over there at Grassroots Bass Yakking, which is the official grassroots partner for the Indiana Bass Nation. We're going to be working together throughout the years with our partners and our sponsors, but also bringing you guys awesome opportunities on the water with joint events at each of our 4 events this season. And we imagine this will go on into 2027. You'll be able to also double dip and get into the GRBY fundraiser tournament. Have an awesome opportunity thanks to Waterbound Kayak Trailers to win a trailer by fishing that event. You get 1 entry for fishing the GRBY and 1 entry for fishing the Bass Nation. You got to be entered in the GRBY to be eligible.
Yeah,
but,
sorry. Yeah, that was one thing we did not specify. You do have to fish the club benefit tournament to get that 2nd entry. Yeah.
Right. But if you're fishing that GRBY club benefit tournament, jump in the Nation when you get an extra entry. If you're just planning on fishing the Nation, now you have another opportunity, a chance to win a really, really sick trailer, quality stuff. Really like what I see coming from there. And then with those events, we'll lead through the year. And then starting next year, we're going to do a joint event for 2027 to kick off the things in the fall here in 2026 at Patoka Lake. It's going to be an awesome time. And lots of opportunities there. So yes, let's just go ahead and get into questions. I think that's a good wrap up for what we needed to talk about tonight. Let's go ahead and get into some questions now. So start throwing those into the comments, guys. Let me throw it up here. I'm going to do the share the comments thing, even though I don't love the way this looks. Let's see. There we go. Oh, there. I like that better. There we go.
Oh, yeah, that looks way better.
That's a little better. So, yes, Wawasee. So, Wawasee is going to wrap up the regular season for this year. So, we're going to start at Patoka. Then we're going to Monroe. Then we're going to Raccoon. Then we're going to Wawasee and Syracuse. I do want to mention something really quickly. I think this is important. We've already got the comments, and we're going to get a lot of comments this year about how busy lakes are going to be, okay? Going to these lakes is going to be a little bit of I'm going to say a culture shock or just a shock to the system for kayak anglers in Indiana who haven't traveled out of the state much. For the guys that have traveled and fished all the bigger events, this is nothing new. But for kayak anglers in the state of Indiana who have not traveled and have not fished these bigger waters on the weekends, you're going to be in for a little bit of a system shock. I highly recommend you start hitting these lakes on the weekends now so you can get used to it. One of the biggest concerns we've heard is Wawasee in July. Yes, we understand. By 10 a.m., if it's a beautiful sunny day, that lake is going to be a madhouse, and you're going to want to go to the canals and the backwaters and try and find a way to get away. We get that that's gonna be a likely scenario there. It's just where it landed this season. It's just where it made most sense as we built a schedule. Next year, it may be in the spring. We'll announce that schedule here later. It's going to move around. We're going to go to Monroe, and there's going to be a 200-boat tournament the day after, and there's going to be 200 boats practicing the day we're there. Or it's going to be a beautiful day and you're going to have a ton of pleasure boaters. We're going to go to Patoka, and there's not going to be a big tournament schedule, but there's going to be 10 little clubs out there fishing with us. This is just something that you guys are going to have to get used to for those that haven't fished nationally and traveled. But I promise you, you can still catch fish if you don't want to get in your head. It's not as big of a deal as you think it is. And I think anyone who has traveled can attest to that. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because I did see the Wawasee comment, and I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. So, okay, so our first question here is from John. Welcome back to Indiana, John. You're going to be a hammer. I know we're going to see at the top of the leaderboards a lot this season. So, fundraiser at each Bassmaster event.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
That
So
is,
we'll,
yes.
because you said like you said, you're hitting every quadrant of the state. We got, some, I think, what are you guys doing? Best for AOI for bass? How many?
Best three.
Best three. So, right. So you may have some guys from the north not wanting to travel to one of the south ones or something like that. So we're going to do one at each location to hit everybody. So you'll get those chances, at each event. So you could get a total of, eight chances for that trailer, basically.
Yep. Awesome. So opportunity for everyone to get in on that. Next question we have here comes from our man, JT Hickman. And he says, oh, where'd it go? I just had it. Thought I did. Oh, okay. Do Bass Life members have to join the nation, or is that included? JT, I'll be honest, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that in terms of Bass Life members having to join the nation. My assumption would be yes, you would still have to, because we have to pay dues for each member who joins the nation. That money then goes to Bass. I would assume that would cover, because so everyone has to be a Bassmaster member, which that's where you get your magazine and you're eligible to do these other things. And that ranges in price point. It's usually no more than 20. Sometimes you get some discounts and deals and stuff like that. So you have to be a Bassmaster member. So you go to bassmaster.com, become a member. Then you have to be an Indiana Kayak Bass Nation member. And that's all on the website. It breaks all that down. So JT, I would assume your life membership would just cover that first part, which is the Bassmaster membership. And then you would still need to join the nation, but I'll have to look into that. I'll reach out to the nation president here in Indiana and just confirm that. All right, let's see. Wyatt Guard says, hey, thanks for joining, Wyatt. Can you qualify for the GRBY Championship through the fundraiser co-sanctioned events?
I cannot recall if we spoke about that. We spoke about month-longs being allowed to qualify. I'll have to get back to you on that, because the issue is the way I do that is everybody's qualifications go into a spreadsheet from the regular season stuff. So if those aren't in there, I'm going to have to figure out how to track that separately. So
stay tuned for that answer.
Stay tuned for that. I don't see why they can't. Definitely would be able to count towards the 8, but it's just going to be a matter of how easy it is for me not to miss that as we go through the season and keep track. So
good questions. You guys got us on our toes already tonight. Keep them coming, guys. We'll wrap up. We'll give you guys here just a few more minutes to throw in any questions as we're kind of waiting to see if any come in. Reedy, is there anything we forgot tonight? Anything we should be talking about that maybe we didn't get to that comes to mind?
Uh-oh. Apparently I have. Yeah, I forgot.
No? Okay.
I forgot.
More? I don't know either. That was a true question. I
thought you had something behind there. You were going to hit.
No, there wasn't. I'm looking at the list and I don't see anything I forgot. But no, just in general, anything that we should be looking out for. If you guys aren't familiar with GRBY, again, you can go to it's just Grassroots Bass Yakking.
GRBY Indiana.com.
GRBY Indiana. My bad. You can find that on Tourney X under clubs. It's like the second option because they run so many tournaments. Dwayne's nice and puts them up at the top. Yep. Great question. Can you not use FFS until I get mine? Well, I don't know that we could write a rule like that. I'll have to get with our rule maker on that one. I will say this. I do have it. I haven't had it, though I have been accused of having it in the past. I have not had it until this season. and I've not had it on the water, and I'm already frustrated with it. So there might be one up for sale cheap very soon. Jacob Singer's already put his name in the hat for that. So I upgraded this year, big time on everything, kayak and electronics and all that. But yes, forward-facing sonar, though, on a serious note, will be allowed in the Bass Nation events. And you will also, another big topic right now is dual motors. So 2 motors. You guys are free to use dual motors all the way up until lines in on tournament day. So practicing, it is allowable, but you cannot use dual motors at the tournament level. A lot of that is, honestly, it's just insurance and safety. Kayaks aren't really rated for dual motors, even though we're starting to see manufacturers trending that way, and a lot of, obviously, guys doing that. But from a safety and insurance standpoint, until the kayak manufacturers rate their boats at that level, as a tournament organization, they just can't do that. So we are going, in terms of rules, we're always going to follow suit with what Bassmaster Nation is doing. And this actually is going to get us into a good topic here that we didn't discuss. So let me keep going down this train track here a little bit. So we're going to always kind of follow suit with what Bassmaster does. It is going to be a heightened sense of rules for what you, if you're a grubby angler, let's say, who's not fished outside of grubby. The rules are going to be a little stricter. They're going to be a lot more elaborate, and you're going to need to know those. On the website, IndianaKayakBassNation.com, under resources, you can see the national rules, and then you can see our state level rules. The state level rules pretty much are the same. There's just a few things that are stripped out of it or changed because they don't have any real impact on what we're doing here at the state level. But there is a big difference between Grubby's rules, a local small club trying to keep it fun and still competitive, but in our rules. And so for those joint events, you're going to have to understand that the Grubby rules and the Nation rules are different. But for those specific events, if you're fishing both, you're going to have to notice that those events will be ran slightly differently. Reedy, you want to talk on that?
Well, that's a very good point you just reminded me of. We have a new launch rule this year where we're allowing you to launch and immediately start fishing if you would like to. For our fundraiser club or club benefit tournaments, we will be following your rules. So whatever your launch time is for bass, whatever we are going to revert to that. And that includes the people fishing on Thursday and Friday and Monday that's not fishing Saturday. It will be different because we're going to, adopt your launch rules for that. So
awesome.
Yeah, we need to hit that definitely before the event. So
yeah, I'm glad we got into that. And that's probably an opportunity for us both to put something in our TourneyX write-ups there in tournament information to kind of mention that. So a good little note to come from this show and your guys' questions. Okay, let's see if we can get to some more questions that can help us answer what's going on here. And we're going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes, guys. So next question. Let's see here. JT Hickman says, get the ring rollers ready for minnow shaking. That's absolutely true. I'm going to tell you guys, those ring rollers, BizBaits is going above and beyond in terms of their inventory numbers on those, and still it gets blown out every time. So those are selling like crazy. Guys are going nuts over them, and definitely get your orders in on those now because they just restocked before the Classic, and somehow never would have imagined this because it went above and beyond in terms of quantity. They are already selling out in certain SKUs. So there will be another restock coming. I don't know exactly when. So just a little plug there for Biz, but also just some information for you guys. Also, tungsten. You talked about wicked weights earlier. Really important to mention. If you need tungsten, if you fish with tungsten, if you've got a tungsten product that you love, Now is the time to buy. Tungsten prices have been soaring. They've been going up and up for months now. There is some other tungsten companies that are starting to talk about this and what's happening. There may get to a point very soon that tungsten is so expensive you can't afford to buy it. The average guy couldn't afford to buy it. There's also a possibility in the very near future there is no tungsten product. So we're not going to go down that wormhole tonight on why that is. But you guys can do your research on that and find that out. But Wicked Weights, who is a partner of GRBY, all the clubs here in Indiana, has been for a long time. They've got a little message on their website that talks about how, you know, the inventory they have now is probably it for a while. So you want to stock. If you've got tungsten jigs that you like, you want to stock up on them. I'll give you just a little bit of inside information, then we'll move on to these questions. Let's say a jig that cost a company $5 to produce a tungsten jig now is going to be at in excess of 10, 12, sometimes $15, depending on the distributor. All tungsten is mined and manufactured in China. There's massive issues right there. And it's not about tariffs or any of that. So yeah, get those jigs, Jim, get your tungsten weights, stock up now, because it's not looking good for the tungsten market anytime soon. Okay. GRBY should be a leader in allowing that. I think Jim's talking about the dual motor thing.
Yes, he is. Just ignore it.
I'm sure everyone wants to do it at this point, but the insurance problem is one of the big things.
And is there one thing before you go on? The events. So you talked about our guys trying to get used to this big water. If you don't want to, if you're not ready for the bass event, come Saturday anyways. Sign up for Saturday. Come hang out with us. Come meet us all. We do plan to do. We don't have details yet about what exactly and where, but we do plan to have some sort of a little cookout, hamburgers, that kind of thing. Whether it's at Bass Awards or after, because some of us are going to be camping there. So, come hang out, come see how it all operates, and fish our event, and get it under your belt. And it just takes some time with me. I was always anxious about it. How you deal with everybody at the ramp and all that stuff. So just come and check it out.
Absolutely. And that's what we want you guys to do, is use this as an opportunity to get to know some people and get comfortable in the sport, and you work your way up into fishing the Bass Nation level events at some point, and then hopefully traveling on. We'd love to see some guys go out of state and represent Indiana. We've got a lot of great anglers already doing that, but we could definitely use some more. All right. Next question here from Justin Cavett. Is there a required identifier for bass? So the answer is no. There is not a singular required identifier. We are open to letting you guys use anything you want. A lot of guys still use the kayak bass fishing ones. That's absolutely okay. You can write it on a piece of paper. GRBY has their own branded one, though it's not required. They do have that option. And we do have our own as well. We made a post about that. I think it was yesterday. You can find that on our website as well. On our resources tab, there's an identifier. You can print your own. You can get it from Honey's Hideout, which obviously we'd love for you guys to look at them, because they're a supporter of us here in Indiana and what we're doing, and they're kayak anglers too. But you also have a link to Trash Panda and the original tin tag, which was the Blue Fox tin tag. It's available at all of those. So whichever you guys prefer, check them out. But and again, you can just print it out as well. So we do have our own. GRBY has their own, but it is not required. Great question. Thank you, Justin, for that one. Let's see. I think that's it. I don't see. Oh, we're the first club to be the catch board only. Okay, Jim bringing that up. Yes, you were. I do remember that. And we are allowing the major boards with catch, everything they've got. And then I might be mistaken, but I do think the Yak Attack and the Bubba board are included in the Bassmaster kayak series. So I think that's kind of trickled down into our series as well. But I should know that off the top of my head. I don't. That would be a great Merlin question. He's the rules guys. I am not. Austin says, good to see you. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Everything is looking good, man. We are getting there. Busy. The business is crazy, kids in sports and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how that's gonna how that's going to affect the tournament fishing this year, but we got a nice new rig out there. We're definitely going to try and get on the water, and I look forward to seeing you guys all out there. Well, Reedy, any last comments, remarks, emotional outburst?
Got any waypoints for Atterbury?
Oh gosh, you would bring up waypoints. Okay, so let me
I did not do good there the other day.
Little story time. Little story time. When it comes to waypoints.
Oh
This
no!
little SD card right here. So had a family member that was sick and in the hospital. Then I got sick, and then I sold my last of the 3 kayaks I was selling, which was the autopilot, and it came with my Lowrance unit. And before selling it, I exported all my waypoints, and then I wiped the unit, as you do. This SD card has traveled across 3 units now. Never had an issue. But I was sick and tired and frustrated and just trying to get it done. So I did not check the SD card on the new unit prior to wiping the old unit. I just yesterday got my new units wired up, threw that SD card in there, and my waypoints aren't on it.
Ouch.
6 years of waypoints are not on it. So I think, anyway, I hit up the guy that I sold the kayak to, and I said, hey, would you mind if I swing by and take a look at the unit? I don't think there's any chance they're still on there, but maybe they are. They weren't, of course, because I wiped the unit, but it was worth a shot. But I did put the SD card in there. And what's interesting is it shows the last modified date of that card when I go into the details, the date that I exported everything. It also it shows that there are files in there. So I have this tiny sliver of hope that I'm going to put this into my computer tomorrow and be able to find those and change the format of the file type so that they can be imported into the new unit. But it's probably pretty slim.
You going to a different manufacturer on your?
Nope. Same manufacturer. I don't know what happened. I know enough to be dangerous with this stuff, but I'm not an expert on it. So I'm going to look into it tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it.
Give it to me. I'll see if I can.
Yeah. Right. The good news is like most of it's grass lines and bait and stuff that doesn't matter. But there is a lot of rock and brush piles and stumps, probably 500 or so stumps marked on a particular lake I love, which is Monroe, Patoka, several brush piles. Good news is I now have 2 massive 12-inch screens to help me and forward-facing sonar to help me find all that. I'm really not honestly too concerned about anything other than the lakes out of the state. It will take me some time to remap and remark, which is something I needed to do anyway, because when I started doing this, I didn't have a good system as I do now. Something I needed to do for a long time anyway. So maybe it'll be a blessing in disguise. And there's a lot of pros that delete them every year anyway, all of them. That not just the grass lines and the stuff that changes, but completely delete it so they can start fresh. So we'll see. I see a lot of guys, some praying, some feeling my pain, and others trying to get this card to see if they can figure this thing out. So, but that's my little story to tell at the end of this, because you brought up a pain point for me. But that was my emotional outburst, I guess. Anything else, Bud? I appreciate you coming on, man, and taking the time to do this. And of course, the partnership between you and Jim and the rest of the admin team over there. You guys have the best of the best helping you out and done an amazing job building the community here in Indiana. So can't thank you enough for all that, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome. I've enjoyed doing it so far.
So far. There'll come a time when you'll want to pass the baton. You better start working on mentoring somebody up here soon. Yeah. So, oh goodness. Yeah, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we got to all your questions. And if you have any other questions, let us know. Throw them in the comments on this, and we'll try and get back to them later on. If you're watching this after the live stream, obviously you can always hit up Merlin. All the contact information is on the website, so you can get your questions out to us. Get those memberships, get signed up, and get ready for the tournament. The earlier you guys sign up, the better we can prepare for that event in terms of prizes and sponsorships and what we got going on and what we're going to be doing. Like I said, Merlin's working great. We're going to be up next week. Let me take a look real quick. I should have had a note. Let me see. When are we going live? We're going live Monday night, so the 30th. And we're going to be doing our Event 1 breakdown, full overview of the lake, sponsor announcements, prizes, payouts, everything for you guys. Next week, it'll be me and Merlin on the show, or Merlin and I, however that goes. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We look forward to seeing you then. Stay tuned to the Facebook page. We're going to be making some announcements over the coming days, and we'll see you guys on the next live. Appreciate you.